And so to go back to this book, at the very beginning, he opens it up by describing how what he calls the specialized class. So these are the people who have the control, who have the power. These are our, not even our leaders, because the leaders would be a part of that specialized class, but they are not the the real puppeteers.
Yeah.
And he describes them as this. This is a specialized class. Everyone else is the bewildered. And he says the specialized class, they see us as like a herd of wildebeest. One of them runs, we all run in that direction, and we're just trampling and knocking things over. And their job is to herd the wildebeest, keep us calm, keep us tame, keep us from destroying the place because we don't know what's in our best interest. And like I think that's one of the things that really pulled me into that book, was reading that, because it's irritating. And it's like at this point in time, it's 2024, millennials, we're all like grown now, and we know that this is the way that we are viewed. And so when you say like the world is changing, it's changing because like how many times can you like keep doing the same things before somebody sees the pattern or somebody notices like, well, I'm being mistreated or like something's not right here.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's a deserved thing. Like you say, it's a good thing. I think this is what we deserve. This is what um those who may try to control us and manufacture our consent deserve. They deserve to lose control a little bit and see what happens. So
Well,
but
I'm excited about it. As Julia knows, I describe myself my political philosophy is anarchism, which is often confused with violence. And some anarchists have been violent and have particularly advocated violence to destroy institutions, which I think is nutty. But a lot of anarchists just have this view that we have to resist creating institutions of power and control. And instead, we have to try to see how much of what we need to do to work together in complex societies we can accomplish through voluntary agreements or associations, without compulsion. And it's very idealistic. I know, almost likely never to work, but I like holding that principle in my head because it makes me very suspicious of most government efforts. And so I am, I think, pretty progressive on most social issues, but I'm always very suspicious of government imposing solutions for most social issues. It may seem like a good thing in the short term, but I'm kind of not, I think it can turn out badly in many instances. So it puts me kind of in a funny place
so is that kind of what
among my colleagues.
so is that kind of what the government is doing with their like constant attempts at removing TikTok from American social
Oh,
media?
yeah. Well, I mean, I have not researched the whole TikTok thing for myself. So all I know is what I read, you know, and apparently, obviously, if a Chinese company is beholding to the Chinese government, then somehow all this information could be sucked up by the Chinese government and all sorts of crazy AI things could be done. The logic, it's there. And of course, this has happened in the West. It's happened in the US, right? As Edward Snowden revealed during the war against terror, certain, I don't want to get into any details because I know details that are classified and details that are not classified, but Snowden revealed how the government, our government, the US government, sometimes had access to information that private companies had provided them, right? Phone records, let's say, for example. And that, it's the same kind of thing that the US government has done at least in part, that we're afraid the Chinese government can do with TikTok.
Well,
So,
and US technology companies. So like the big fear is China. I mean, one of the big fears is China creates a big AI model of all of us who are on TikTok and basically figures out all our personalities and who we know and all our networks and then uses Facebook and Instagram and American technology companies to manipulate us. So
mm-hmm.
so part of the plan includes what's already a problem in the US, but we're only going to attack the thing that's Chinese. And so that's interesting. So it comes back to this prevent forest fires thing. It's like, what can we do so that we don't have the problem of being manipulated by our social media addiction or by desire to be liked or by our fear of meeting with other people in real life, so we spend all our time looking at our phones. So
Right.
yeah, anyway, I don't know, Amber, are you convinced? What do you think? Because also, Carmen keeps a security clearance and has to keep things classified, and so she has to keep secrets that she doesn't necessarily believe in, right? According to your philosophy, Carmen. Is that right?
I don't have, well,
You want to keep everything
I have to
transparent.
keep secret things that if I were God, I would say, well, we don't have to keep that secret.
Yeah.
But I have to keep them secret. So I do, because that's my oath. So that's an important thing.
Right. But when you say things like everything should be transparent, like I don't think you're talking about everything. Like you're not talking about the nuclear codes. Like not everyone in the
Well,
world.
there are clearly things in this world that the fewer people know them, probably the better.